Now that we've set up the campaign and the ad group, we want to be able to tell Google what keyword should it show the ads for. So, for an example, in the previous campaign that we set up, in the ad group that we set up, we use this term here, which is Zen Academy, as an exact match. So we'll go through what these keywords mean. So if you click on this plus sign here and click on, and then it'll give you the option to choose the ad group that you want to add the keywords to, because you need to specify what ad groups, what keyword belongs to. So I'll choose two. As you can see, it's already got the Zen Academy in there. So what are the type of options I've got? So I can either have a broad match, I can either have a phrase match, or I can have an exact match. So broad match, usually just the regular keyword, denoted by a regular keyword. So if I type in, say for an example, courses, then that's a broad match. If I type in courses with the inverted commas, then that's a phrase match. And if I type in courses inside a bracket, then that's an exact match. And what's the difference between broad match, phrase match, and exact match? So let's dive into that a little bit. So first of all, this is a exact match scenario. So when you have the words in bracket, that's the exact match. And the ads will show when it's either the exact word for word or a very close variant of that word. So shoes for men, so you can see shoes men, men's shoes, men's shoe. So that's the singular version of that shoes. And shoes for a man, which is again a very close variant of this shoes for men. It won't trigger an ad for something like boots for men, because this is an exact match. It has to have the word men and shoe or shoes in the keyword for it to trigger an ad. So when it won't trigger the ad, so men's tennis shoes. As you can see, tennis is the kicker here, and shoes for boys. So boys being men and boys being the difference here, and again, it won't show the ad. So exact matches, usually if you want to target the word exactly, this is when you use. It is the most precise version of targeting. That means you would end up getting less traffic because somebody's got to type the word exactly as it is, but also it'll be the most precision targeting that you can achieve with your keywords. Next up is phrase match, which is when it's under inverted commas. And when it's under inverted commas, what it does is it triggers ads that are in the vicinity or are similar to the terms that you're using here. So shoes for tennis, obviously, buy tennis shoes on sale, red tennis shoes, and the kicker here is the comfortable tennis sneakers. So see, sneakers being a very close match to shoes will also end up triggering the ad. So that's the difference here. So, it might even, depending on how Google treats shoes versus boots, it might even end up triggering those sort of terms as well. So it's not a very close match. It's not an exact match. Obviously, it's not very precise, but it gives you a little bit of breadth in terms of how your targeting works and when your ads show. If you're getting really low amount of traffic with your exact matches, the phrase match is what you'd end up going to next. We had a better targeting method called a broad match modifier before, which Google sort of deprecated, obviously because it can make more money. However, phrase match would be the next best thing in terms of targeting. So when it won't show the ads, so tennis rackets and training shoes. So obviously, you can see that tennis rackets are obviously applicable to tennis rackets and training shoes. So obviously it won't trigger. And can you wear running shoes for tennis? So again, it won't trigger the ad here because it's not a very close match for what you're trying to do with this query here, which is tennis shoes. So that's what you have with phrase match under inverted commas, very close match to what your original query is. And finally, broad match means, incorporate everything under the sun that closely matches this one. Low carb diet plan, it matches for carb-free foods, which again, you see, it's not exactly the same thing. Like, this person is asking for a plan. This query is showing all the carb-free foods, all the low carb diets, but also matches for low carbohydrate dietary program, which again, doesn't match exactly, or it's not a very close match to what this is. So this is the most breadth or the broad version of what this keyword is. So how would I recommend targeting? I would recommend you start off with exact matches first, and if you have really low traffic on your campaigns, then go on to phrase matches with a very good negative keyword list, which we'll discuss in a bit. And then eventually, if you have a lot of budget, not enough, traffic, I'd still recommend doing as many campaigns as you can with your phrase matches. But if you're really dealing with billions and billions of dollars of budget, you probably go up for broad matches. Again, I never recommend having broad match keywords. If you see an account with a broad match keywords, obviously they can do a lot better in terms of how they manage their accounts. But again, focus on having either exact matches to start off, followed by phrase match with a very good negative keyword list, and it you probably be a size of a Fortune 10 or maybe a Fortune 100 to even be able to use a broad match keyword targeting.